Doesn't matter if NCIS goes on for a lifetime, Abby will always remain a fan favorite. From her goth look to her amazing forensic skills, there's so much to love about her. Of course, the dimensions Pauley Perrette added to the character tied it all together. But what if we told you the role was originally gonna go to someone else? Stick around because in this video, we'll be telling you all about it. Firstly, the pilot would have been way different. Since we saw Abby from the get-go, you can imagine the show would have been insanely different with a different actress. Any NCIS fan would agree. There's no one like Perrette's Sciuto. The wit, the perkiness, it's something she did so well. This isn't to say anyone else couldn't do a good job, but once you've got a taste of Pauley, there's no going back. Turns out the casting call was really booked for this character. Think about it. Back in 2003, a lot of shows had a lovable goth role. It's one of the many charms of the early 2000s. According to TV Line, Perrette's wasn't the only audition that impressed. Katee Sackhoff actually wowed the casting director so much that she was very much considered for the role. We know it's hard to picture anyone but Pauley filling the shoes of our beloved Abby Sciuto, but hey, fate works out in mysterious ways. And in this case, it definitely was for the best. And now, how everything turned out well. The reason Sackhoff didn't end up taking the role is that she had something else waiting round the corner. The big project in question was none other than Battlestar Galactica. Now, these are two TV series that are worlds apart. A crime show speckled with comedy and a sci-fi one. It was totally up to what Katee saw fit. And of course, she opted for sci-fi's Battlestar Galactica. Her role as Kara Starbuck Thrace went on for a long time. For a solid 5 years, in fact. Everything went well because that role put her in the limelight over at Hollywood. It was after Galactica that she starred in other amazing shows like Longmire and The Big Bang Theory. Plus, she's racked up an impressive movie resume. Having Oculus and Riddick on your list is pretty darn cool if we say so ourselves. As for our girl Pauley, she went on to hit it big with NCIS. It garnered her a lot of fame, and she's so iconic that fans still keep up to date with her after her departure from the show. Hey, when you're on one of the best crime shows for 15 seasons, that's bound to happen. Granted, there was some drama between her and Harmon, and things got a little messy. Okay, they were actually very messy. Despite all that, Sciuto's departure from the show came naturally within the storyline. You can't deny this though. There's only one Abby, and that's Pauley. Perrette's now enjoying a life away from the camera, having had a fruitful career for most of her life. She's still very active on Twitter though. As sweet as ever, she keeps in touch with NCIS fans through tweets and posts about her life. Gardening, working with adopted dogs, she's really living her best life. And now, another unexpected close call in NCIS. Here's another fun fact you didn't know about the casting of the show. Gibbs was almost played by someone else. It was a pretty close call, just like between Sackhoff and Perrette. Gibbs is also widely loved by the fan base, and it's crazy to see how the universe makes things happen. For better, for worse, all of it. Well, in this case, it definitely was for the better. According to the X-ray feature on Amazon Prime Video, a very well-known name was considering joining NCIS. Think cowboy hat, archaeology. Yep, that's right. Harrison Ford was pretty set on auditioning for the role. With a name like that, producers would jump to hire in a second. It's Harrison freaking Ford. The feature also tells us what was going on in Ford's life that pushed him to think about NCIS. Around the early 2000s, he was going through a little slump. That's pretty understandable. Mental blocks can happen anytime and anywhere when you're in a creative field. Acting ain't an easy job, folks. Anyway, his agent and friends told him to try out the upcoming crime show, just as a way to ease him out of his low moments. Of course, that didn't end up happening. We're sure Ford found another way to bounce back and find his spunk. But the role of Gibbs went to Mark Harmon, and the rest was history. For real, with the way this show's been going on for years, you really can call it history. Plus, there's a sweet little Easter egg about this too. It's in the very first episode, actually. Gibbs does allude to this, because he name drops Ford and his movie Air Force One. It's been confirmed by the X-ray feature too. Yes, this was intentional. Be it Abby or Leroy Gibbs, this TV series has racked up a serious reputation. The flagship show has so many other installments, from Hawaii to LA. It's just crazy to think how close we could have been to seeing NCIS in a completely different light. Well, now we've got memorable characters we can hold on to for a lifetime. And now, for some other NCIS news you might have missed out on. First up, a huge crossover event. There's no such thing as too much of the NCIS universe. Bonus points if there's a crossover and fans are in luck, because that's exactly what's happening. With the 20th season of the flagship show and second one of NCIS Hawaii hot on our trails, we're in for a riot. No matter what, CBS knows how to keep a fandom well fed with kick-ass content. It'll kick off on September 19th, and our two worlds will come closer than ever before. The premieres of both seasons will merge. The DC team is going to fly out to Hawaii in a race against time to stop an attack. Agent Parker and Vivian are on the run, and the group takes the help of Special Agent Tennant and Ernie Malek. They've got a prime suspect that they can't lose, which is, of course, the Raven, aptly named to say the least. He's probably the most elusive criminal on the show as of yet. Malek and Tennant are in town for a global military exercise, so we're in for a whirlwind of action. Plus, Brian Dietzen and Diona Reasonover are confirmed to make guest appearances in the episode. The Hawaii team tracks the Raven down to Oahu, where they learn of his plans to attack the Rim of Pacific exercises. It's a large-scale caper, and you can bet there's gonna be all hell to lose. Hang on, folks, September is just around the corner. Next, Caleb Castile gives fans sneak peek of season 14 set. Another premiere we're all desperately waiting for is the 14th season of NCIS LA. It just can't come soon enough, y'all. Castile, who plays Devin Roundtree, took to Instagram to post some stories that hint at a special setting. It's none other than the infamous boat shed. If you're a fan, you know the importance this place holds for the show. It's where all the most intense interrogations have taken place. The show definitely isn't parting with it soon. Caleb makes that crystal clear. He scans the entire set on video. He even captioned it, "Boat shed days be the best days." We're right with you on that, Caleb. So now we know we're in for some serious back and forth. Other than that, the star didn't reveal any major storyline. No characters, no faces to pinpoint. Unfortunately, we'll all have to make do with this tiny hint for now. All we can do now is wait till we see the casting list for the antagonist. Fingers crossed it'll come soon. And lastly, Vanessa Lachey talks about representation. Vanessa is the first female lead of an NCIS series, and that's a huge step for inclusivity. There's a lot to celebrate, and the actress recognizes that for sure. She spoke to Insider recently about the first time her kids saw her on the show. It's truly a moving story. She said that her daughter looked at her on screen like she was Wonder Woman, and that's when it hit her. Seeing a face that looks like hers, it's something that just doesn't apply to her own kids. Children everywhere, in fact. For anyone who feels different, this type of exposure is so important. The fact that Lachey's kids saw her with so much pride is huge. Just imagine all the other boys and girls in the world watching her. Granted, NCIS isn't really a show for children, but once you give minorities the screen time they deserve, that's bound to have a positive impact wherever you are in the world. Not to mention, the show was such a hit that CBS ordered a full first season off the bat. At the rate that it's going, we can hope to see even more of it in the future. Onwards and upwards. Well, that's all for this video, folks. What are your thoughts on Katee Sackhoff almost taking the role of Abby Sciuto? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.